guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a collective moon update on this mysterious full moon in Scorpio that we're having. So how are you guys? How are you feeling? What's going on with you? How are you feeling the energy? How has it been affecting you, impacting? Let me know if you have anything you'd like to share. I'm always curious to know how you guys are feeling, what you guys are going through, what you guys are experiencing. The Scorpio energy is known to be intense because, as we know, Scorpio rules the 8th house, and the 8th house has everything to do with like our shadow side, our fears, our traumas, the things that we don't want to look at, that we're afraid to look at, that we are ashamed to look at. Taboo topics, sex, power dynamics, money, especially as it pertains to like other people's money and like really binding yourself on a deep level. This scorpionic energy, this 8th house energy, is very representative of things that we'd rather keep hidden in the dark, secrets. So as you can see, that's like heavy energy, right? Which is why the scorpionic energy is always attributed to this intensity. I do feel like Scorpios, the scorpionic energy, it does get a bad reputation because people can feel its depth, and again, its intensity. I feel like the scorpionic energy is very intelligent, it's very observant. It definitely doesn't like the shallow, the surface level of things. It goes deep. It dives deep. It rules things like psychology and even surgery, like just going beneath the surface, deep beneath the surface, and finding some kind of hidden truth or hidden meaning. Scorpio is also a very intuitive sign. I feel like it can easily see through people. It's very powerful, very magnetic. It can be very strategic, secretive. This energy knows more than what it lets on. And so I think that's why there's like that fear surrounding this scorpionic energy, because it's like the power of it can be felt. It's an energetic feeling, this strength, this depth that it carries, this weight. But it's like, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that energy? Are you going to use it for good? Use it to move energy, to heal, to evolve, to grow, to help in those processes? Or are you going to use it to control, to manipulate, to get your way? So I think the fear surrounding Scorpio is valid. It can be, because it's like, what are you going to do with all that power, So since this is a full moon in Scorpio, I do encourage you guys to watch the new moon in Scorpio reading that I did about 6 months ago, because like I always tell you guys, I think the energy we could be seeing here today is like a maturation of the energy that we picked up then. They could be linked, they could be connected in some way. It could be like a full circle moment. I went ahead and listened to that reading and it was really, really good. So yes, I encourage you guys to go listen to it because I think it could be really useful, really beneficial for you guys to hear and to think about and to take into consideration. Something else I wanted to mention about the Scorpio energy, the way that I like to think about it. I'm sure you guys have heard this before as it relates to the Scorpio energy, but I feel like there are 3 very distinct phases that you can correlate to this energy. And the first phase is symbolized by the scorpion. The scorpion can be very reactive, very vindictive. It likes to fight, it likes to sting, poison. I would say it's more of like the lower vibrational scorpionic energy. And then the next phase is the eagle. And the eagle, it flies high above, so it has a bird's eye view. So this is a symbol of being able to see past things, like see deeper, being able to see deeper. Again, to have that bird's eye view perspective, to have that broader perspective so that you're seeing like intentions and patterns, cycles, habits. You're seeing the underlying currents and why things are happening and what's influencing things, seeing the triggers and what could be tripping those up. So it's like shining a light on the shadow material and looking at it, facing it, becoming aware of it. And then the last phase is the phoenix, which is like you take all of the things that were harmful, that were holding you back, the maladaptive behaviors, the things that are in your shadow that are influencing behind the scenes, that were influencing behind the scenes before you wanted to face it or acknowledge it, or before you were conscious of it. It's like where all of these things die, you know? So it's very symbolic of like an ego death, and it all turns into ash. And from the ashes, you're reborn. There's a renewal, a transformation, a rebirth, where now those things aren't holding you back like they once were. They're not running the show in a way that's harmful. It's not coming out in unconscious ways, but now it's like you've integrated it. And instead of being a weakness, instead of being something that holds you back, it's something that becomes your strength, because you've become aware of it, and because you've integrated it, and you've done the work to transform it, to shift it, to change it, you know? So this scorpionic energy is so, so powerful. There's deep, powerful work that can be done here that is life-changing, can be life-changing, can be so, so healing. But of course, it's going to require work and effort, commitment, dedication. Something I mentioned in my new moon in Scorpio reading was devotion. Like, it requires you devoting yourself to something higher, to something greater, making that choice, making that decision to do that, to do this work, so that you can overcome, so that you can rise up like that phoenix. Whether you're doing that for yourself or you're helping other people to do that. Clearing out the gunk, clearing the smoke. Okay, so yes, that's how I feel about the Scorpio energy. Those are some of the things that it represents for me. And therefore, some themes I think could be coming up for us around these times. So with all of that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump straight into the message. You guys can take a moment to close your eyes, to take deep in and out breaths, and just center your energy, become receptive to the messages that are going to come through here, so that you can use your discernment to know which messages are meant for you and which ones aren't. This is an opportunity for Spirit to come through, to talk with us, just to let us know some things that they feel would be beneficial for us right now on our journeys, what things we could be working through, dealing with, for this moon cycle, for this full moon in Scorpio. The messages that come through here today are always for the greatest and highest good of us all. They're always coming from benevolent, loving, high vibrational, high streams of consciousness, whose intentions are in alignment with my own, which is always messages that are in line with unconditional love, universal truth, and divine law and order. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out the spread. I'm starting with my oracle cards. So while I do this, you guys can, take a moment and settle your energy. Center yourselves. Invite stillness, calmness, and we'll jump right into the message. Okay, so I've pulled all of the oracle cards out. I want to show you guys what they are. So we got lifting the veil, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. We got fall into my arms with surrender, holding opposites, extremes of life, the golden children, inner child, tenderness and innocence, rare gifts. We got big picture thinking, visionary, inspired ideas, weight of the world, boundaries, let it go, it's not yours to carry, And Star Keeper, Cosmic Ancestors, seed the light by staying grounded. And then from our other oracle deck, we got Underworld, which is right on brand with the Scorpionic energy, and Ancestors, which reminded me of the new moon in Scorpio reading that I did, because it fell on Dia de los Muertos, because it was like November 1st or something. And I talked about, you know, connecting with ancestors in that reading and stuff because of that. So I find it very interesting that it's coming through here again for this full moon in Scorpio. Again, like a full circle moment, right? And then for these, we got Kadesh, I think that's how you say it, with sexual wisdom, Hod, tell the truth, and Rhiannon, inner strength. Look at that full moon in that one. So yes, those are our oracle cards. So let's see here what I can pick up from this, and then we will pull tarot as well. So right away, I'm being taken to inner child work here, needing to go there, to go to our upbringing, to how we were raised, what things that, you know, were ingrained in us, that we grew up with, like things that are a part of our core beliefs, the things that we tell ourselves, the stories that we tell ourselves, or the memories that we have, the things that shaped and molded our worldview. I feel like Spirit really does want us to do inner child work, do inner child healing, to, you know, take the time to address anything that's coming and stemming from those places, those parts of us, which oftentimes, like anything that we are dealing with, any traumas, wounds, any ways in life that we're stuck, that we're stunted, it probably has to do with an inner child thing, you know, like with a need that wasn't properly met. And so it created maladaptive behaviors, harmful ways of coping, you know. And so Spirit really is asking us to lift the veil, you know, so that we can become aware again, bring it to light, become conscious of the things that are unaligned, that are running the show behind the scenes, that are influencing us, influencing our actions and the way we move, influencing our behaviors. There's this really, really popular, famous Carl Jung quote that says, whatever lives in the darkness that you don't bring up to the light will manifest itself and you will call it fate. That's not the exact quote, but it's something along those lines. And it basically means that just because you're unconscious of it or unaware, or you don't want to face it, you don't want to look at it, you want to avoid it, just because those things are happening doesn't mean that it's not there, it's not present, it's not coming out in some way, impacting, influencing in some way. And so either you are going to take your power back and consciously work those things out, so that again, it's not like running the show behind the scenes, causing destruction and chaos and harm to you or to others, and you calling that fate, instead of what it is, which is unhinged shadow material coming out unconsciously. Or you're going to shine a light, you're going to go there, you're going to look at it, you're going to face it, you're going to work through it, and you're going to rise up, right? Because Spirit really wants us to, you know, become aware of anything that is unaligned, so that we can let it go, so that we aren't carrying it anymore. And they're saying that it comes from our family, from our ancestors, from it's like generational stuff, a lot of generational stuff coming through here. And they're saying like it was put there, it was placed there. This isn't really you, you know. It's like you were taught something that really doesn't come from you, whether it's like certain beliefs, or whether you saw certain things being role modeled to you and you thought that that was the way it was supposed to be. You thought that's what was the norm, so you followed in those same footsteps. It's like stuff like that came from your upbringing, from your family, like their own unhealed things then becomes our own unhealed things. Like it keeps getting passed down until somebody decides to stop it, put a stop to it, and stop passing down that energy, you know? stop passing down those traumas, those wounds, those fears, those beliefs, that worldview, whatever it is that's causing harm. So it's being able to see what those things are, to pinpoint what those things are, so that we can let it go. Work on letting it go. Work on no longer carrying that and no longer passing that down in our bloodline. It's like cleansing the bloodline. And when we're finding ourselves like in the position where we're the ones that have to do that work, you know, like we're the ones that have to cleanse the bloodline, we're the ones that have to put a stop to it and not continue to pass it on. You're a special soul, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it was very intentional why you're here, to do that work for your bloodline. Those of us that are finding ourselves in this position, we are the golden children, you know, we have like an innocence, we have rare gifts. And that's why we incarnated here, to like, again, cleanse the bloodline. So it's like you're being called to do this deep, meaningful, impactful, powerful work so that we can unbind ourselves, you know, and be able to get these inspired ideas, be able to get that bigger picture thinking, to see beyond our limitations. So yeah, this message is pretty clear so far. I still have not pulled tarot, but I'm seeing that it's like doing the work that our ancestors couldn't do. And it's like not looking at them in a negative way, like, why were you guys so unaware and low vibrational and blah, blah, blah. It's like we all had a role to play. You know, they had a role to play, and maybe, you know, their experience and their role wasn't this, you know, it was like they needed to survive, or they had something else they had to be focused on in their life to survive in some way and to make way for you, to bring you here. It's like, it's us, it's our journey, it's our purpose. It's like we're the souls that are equipped with what we need, with the circumstances, with the karma, you know, the karmic circumstances, with the gifts, the soul gifts, with a certain kind of spiritual evolution that we probably are bringing with us from past lives. It's like, this is what we're meant to do. So it's like everybody played their role. You know what I mean? It's like understanding that everybody played their role. It's not demonizing anybody, blaming anybody. It's like, this is my role. I was put here. This is the job I came to do. This job is for me. I'm the one equipped to do this work. So it's not really like about blaming and pointing the finger. I'm not telling you to like have boundaries and like cut people off if you need to. And, you know, if you felt like you were abused or something really bad happened to you and stuff like that, you can still do all of those things if you feel like you need to, if you want to protect yourself. You can still do all of those things and still like understand also like the undercurrent of what happened to you and why, and that was passed down to you because maybe your abuser was also abused, or of course it's not justifying the abuse in any way, and it's not saying that you have to have people in your life and that you have to forgive. I feel like you can forgive eventually. It's a process, and it's just gonna come naturally. You can forgive, and you can still hold a boundary and like keep your distance from people. Just because you forgive someone doesn't mean that they're in your life and you're in contact and it's all good. You can forgive someone and choose to not speak to them. But mostly what I'm seeing here is like, it's not about blaming people. Like, it's not about like, you were a bad parent, or you made me have this type of personality, and like, you're the one that influenced my life in a bad way. It's like, yes, we can hold people accountable, we can see the truth of things, but we don't have to demonize them, you know? It's like understanding like they also had their own stuff, you know, that they failed to work through. They weren't equipped to work through certain things, and yes, they passed that down onto us. And again, how you choose to handle that is up to you. But it's also about like taking responsibility. Like, it's not our fault what happened to us, but it becomes our responsibility. Like, once we become adults, it's our responsibility to fix ourselves, or, you know, to heal, to remove any parts of us that are unhealed, that are harmed, unaligned, corrupt, you know? It becomes our responsibility. But yeah, like, I don't know if I'm wording it right, but I feel like that's an important message. I feel for everybody it's going to be different, the way that you handle it, but there's something about like your ancestry, your family members, that you have to be able to surrender. It's like asking you to either have compassion, forgive, don't blame, don't point fingers, don't be like, well, you're the reason I'm like this and that's it. You know, like now I'm fucked for life. You know, it's like you can do something about it. And it's your responsibility to do something about it. But also on the other side, on the other hand, it's okay to hold someone accountable and to make them aware of their impact, of the impact that they had, that their actions had on you, you know, how they influenced your life and your quality of living and your quality of life, and how they influenced your personality and who you are today and how you operate in the world. You are allowed to hold someone accountable to that and to express those things, you know, bring it to light, tell the truth about it. And again, if you feel like it's unforgivable or the abuse was too much, or you know, you can't, like, you don't feel right being close to this person, or you know, so on and so forth, you are well within your right to go no contact, to cut people out, to cut people off. And you doing that does not mean necessarily that you haven't forgiven them and that you are, you know, aren't compassionate with the fact that, like, okay, I know that you were probably not raised right either, you know? So as you can see, there's a lot of nuance to this subject. So how you handle it is going to be different. But I just feel like Spirit is asking us to see the bigger picture when it comes to this. There's a paradox, like to see the paradox point, like to see, like, yes, you're the reason I'm like this, but it's still my responsibility to be a better person and to clean this up. And it's actually my purpose to do this. I'm equipped to do it. That doesn't excuse what you put me through if it was something very, really, really bad. But it's just like an understanding, you know, it's just an understanding. And if you can, like, not point fingers and not blame, just do what you're here to do. Do what your soul came here to do. Clear up what your soul needs to clear up. Have compassion, have understanding, but also protect yourself. Have boundaries too, you know, whether you choose to like allow people to still be a part of your life, or whether you choose that you don't want them to be, or you don't want to be close to them, you know. May your heart be open to forgiveness either way. In due time, you know, whenever you go through whatever process you need to go through, we can't just like force forgiveness. We can't force anything in this process, you know what I mean? It's a process, and it is building inner strength here. And yeah, let's get into the tarot. Let's see what the tarot has to say about it. Any additional messages that Spirit has regarding this full moon in Scorpio. Yeah, I feel like some of us, they're saying like some of us don't want to accept, look, the Death card, that's the Scorpio card. They're saying like some of us don't want to accept like our mission, or like that this is our purpose, or that this is our job. It's like we don't want it or something. And they're saying, do it, you know? If you're in the position to stop something in your bloodline, in your family line, generational curses from continuing to be passed down, pick up the mantle, you know, and do what you need to do. Be responsible. I feel like a lot of us are missing the bigger picture here. They're saying like we're missing it. We're not seeing it. We're not seeing. It's like a paradox point where it's like the very thing that is causing you to be passive, or to feel bored, or to feel neglected, ignored, rejected, like that very thing that was done to you, that you were subjected to, it's like that's the thing that's going to free you. That's the thing that's going to liberate you. You know, it's like your biggest weakness becomes your greatest strength. It's like that paradox point, and being able to hold both of these truths. Like, yes, this happened to me. This wasn't right. This wasn't fair. I didn't deserve that. But it's like understanding that there's so much other energies and things at play influencing, and karma, and other things, you know? And it's just like, okay, well, I'm finding myself here. This is the situation. So yeah, it wasn't fair, but I'm gonna rise up. I'm gonna meet it. You know, like if this is what's presenting, then you have to know that you're strong enough and you're powerful enough to meet it. You're capable. You can meet it. And you can rise up. It's like the very thing that you want to avoid the most, that you don't want to look at, that you think was messed up that it happened to you. So you want to get as far away from it as possible. It's like that's the thing that's going to transform you. Again, that scorpionic energy. It's like, don't stay small. Don't stay vindictive, reactive, holding grudges, wanting revenge, wanting to fight, wanting to poison. You know? It's like all of the bad things that you're carrying, it just becomes poison for yourself, for others. It becomes harmful. Is that what you want to continue to pass down, to pass along? Or do you want to heal? You know, instead of feeling like numb and like you can't see the magic in life, bored with things, cut off. Don't you want to be able to experience fully, to feel your feelings, to feel your emotions, to be able to have an open heart, to love, you know, to be in touch with your intuition? Yeah, like look at the body language of this guy right here. And then like this cup is being offered and he's not looking, like he doesn't want to accept it, he's missing it, he can't see it, he's too bored, he's feeling like too focused and caught up on like the bad. And then she's just very aware, like staring directly at that cup, you know, like she's mastered it, like she took that higher cup and mastered it. She's holding it and looking at it, you know what I mean? Like she's aware of her feelings, her emotions, what she feels. Yeah, because this could even be like, there's this thing called alexithymia. I think that's how it's pronounced, but it's like we don't even know how we feel. We're so detached and so cut off from our feelings, from our emotions. We're so emotionally immature that it's like oftentimes you don't even know how you feel. You can't identify your own feelings, your own emotions. And it's being able to bring yourself to a place where you can, because this is what's going to inspire you. This is what's going to give you vision and what's going to like pop you out of whatever limitation you're finding yourself in. It's your feelings, it's your heart, it's your emotions. You have to cleanse yourself so that you can bring yourself to a place where you can feel these things again. Where you can feel again. Feel the tenderness, the innocence. Feel the feelings that you felt when you were little. It's like a lot of us are blocked off from that innocence, from that purity, that creativity, you know, that believes in magic and like that gets inspired ideas, that is a visionary, that can have bigger picture thinking. It's like we have to be able to rise above, move beyond. And the way that you do that is through your emotions, unlocking your emotions, being able to express your emotions, to feel your feelings, feel your emotions, know what's there, become aware of what's inside fully. Because some of us are so disconnected and so blocked off from it. Yeah, anything unaligned must go. Exactly. It comes from our childhood, our upbringing. It's like blocking us in some way. The stuff that was ingrained in us, beliefs, religions, traditions, things that shaped and molded, again, our worldview. It's blocking us, and we have to be able to like rise above it. It's like keeping us stuck, small, stagnant, numb, feeling sad and rejected, and like we need to be able to rise up, because as long as you're in that energy, you're not moving consciously, you're not living consciously, you're still living so unconsciously. Like there's still so much in your psyche, like so much in your shadow material that is influencing and taking over and is taking the wheel, is impacting your life and your quality of life. And you have to be able to take your power back by, again, getting like that bird's eye view, right? That eagle stage in the Scorpionic energy, so that we can then invite in this transformation and like rise up from the ashes. Yeah, you have to be able to transform the stuff that was passed down to you. Yeah, this has to do with generational stuff, old generational stuff that was passed down to us. We have to like clean it up, let it go, accept the responsibility, accept it's ours to stop in our generation. It's our chance to cleanse ourselves, to cleanse our bloodline, to come back online, not be so numb, to become aware of your feelings, of your emotions, of what exists there in that space, to be able to express your emotions, to know how you feel, to be in touch with your emotions, to take responsibility for them. Because this is what's going to connect you to your intuition. This is what's going to connect you to like love, to nurturance, to compassionate energy. Yeah. Remember I was saying we have to be compassionate? It's like we don't even know how to be compassionate and loving. And it's because like we're so clogged. It's like we're clogged. We have to connect back to love, to our heart, to emotions, to our creativity, to our inner child, to that childlike innocence and purity. See the magic in things, you know? Feel the magic all around type of thing. So yeah, I'm seeing maybe some of you guys were like competed with or something as a child. Like as a child, maybe there was someone around that would like belittle you and like berate you, like, you don't know that? You're dumb, you're stupid, or you should know that. And it's like, no, you don't know that, you're a kid, you know? Like, you're supposed to teach me. Why are you getting mad at me for not knowing something? It's like, instead of someone being a loving, nurturing parent, it's like they just like put you down, and maybe they were in competition. Like, you're stupid. See, you're stupid. I'm the smart one. That's why you listen to me. Or you don't know nothing. And or when you didn't know something, you didn't do something right. It's like they just were mean about it instead of teaching you the right way to do it, or using that as an opportunity to teach you, you know, the right way. And it's like they could have just gotten mad at you and been mean to you and made you feel stupid for not knowing something or something, when it's them that should have been teaching you. So yeah, and then sexual wisdom came out here. So maybe this influences our sexual energy, our sexuality, you know, where we just have like sexual relationships that lack connection, that lack meaning, depth. So it lacks emotional fulfillment. So like you never truly feel like love, you know? And I just listened to the song for the first time again in so long. It's called Battlefield by Jordan Sparks. And yeah, it's like, why does love always feel like a battlefield? Like, love shouldn't feel like a battlefield. Love shouldn't be a competition. It shouldn't be war. It shouldn't be like fighting and going against each other. It should feel like compassion and understanding and consideration and connection. And it's like, what I'm seeing here is are people that don't know how to do that, because it's like we weren't raised to know how to do that. And so it keeps us stuck and stagnant in some way and disconnected from seeing the bigger picture, from seeing how things connect, from seeing where it is that you need to make a change. And so it's like shadow material that is just like running amok and taking over. So it's like understanding that love is not a battlefield. I feel like competition, there can be healthy competition, but not when it comes to love. Like, there should be no competition when it comes to love, because wherever there's that type of energy, it's like someone that's just trying to get control, someone that's trying to have power over someone else, to control, to get their way, to manipulate, again, to strategize. And these are all like negative aspects of that scorpionic energy. So it's being able to like rise above that, not being that scorpion that just wants to like sting and poison, but really truly learning how to be in touch with your heart and your emotions and with compassion, so that, you know, we can utilize our sexual energy in a way that's going to be so much more powerful and impacting, and it's not going to be harmful. You know what I mean? And it's so much more than just like, I'm horny and like, I'll just do anything that's next to me or in front of me. That'll get the job done. I just want a warm body. It's like being able to have more than that, being capable of more than that, you know, and not letting that run the show, but teaching yourself how to be attracted to something that's higher, that's more elevated. And the way that you do that is by like expanding your emotional capacity and your heart, and again, like working on your emotional, like in your emotional state, your emotional status, and being receptive to your emotions and knowing how you feel and why, and being compassionate and receptive to other people, being nurturing and understanding and giving and kind and loving. I feel like for a lot of us, we got stunted in childhood when it comes to this, emotions. I want to make a video on it, actually. It's one of like the next videos I want to make, one of my chit chatty videos. I feel like there's an epidemic of emotional immaturity in our society, and I feel like this is hitting on this. So I'll probably be working on that soon, but I do have an all signs video coming out actually within the next couple of days, the next few days. I have to finalize that one, and then I can work on this one. But yeah, you guys, that was our message for this full moon in Scorpio. I truly hope this message has served you. It was deep. I feel like I can keep going. I can keep talking. I hope that I did a good job explaining that. Again, I think I'm going to elaborate this on a video that I have in mind of creating and putting out. I see like a huge iguana outside my window. But yeah, I'm actually recording this video on Sunday. It's Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day. Happy belated Mother's Day to all of my beautiful mamas out there. You are so loved. You are so appreciated. You are so important. My kids are actually waiting for me. We're gonna go have some fun. I'm thinking either ping pong or bowling or something, but I just want to go spend some time with them. So yeah, I do offer personal readings if you ever feel like you need to dive deeper into your specific situation, or you feel like you need more guidance, more support, and you feel like I'm the one that can help you with that. I would love to work with you. I would love to connect. I'll leave my email in the description box below if you're interested. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.